Hello and welcome to the MMA Elevator. My name is Darius. Let's break this shit down. First of all, we have Barber versus Blanchfield. Interesting fight, this one. I think we have a girl that we slightly know the ceiling of with Blanchfield and Barber, who we've yet to see how far she can go. She is, Barber is a striker primarily. She's got a good amount of clonk. She's had some really bad performances in the UFC where she's just been fighting air for a lot of time, but she's someone who's quite young despite being older than Blanchfield. She's quite young and she keeps on developing, keeps on growing, keeps on putting a game together a little bit better. What we've seen from her striking is just improved a lot more. She's a lot more active, a lot more defensively sound with the striking and the grappling. I think she had some issues earlier on in her career with the grappling defense, which is why we see the stats that we see. If we look through the tail of the tape here, similar size, similar, similar reach. We have an orthodox fighter and a switch dancer. Barber does generally fight in one stance, the orthodox, but she can switch. And yeah, I mean, despite Blanchfield being the person who throws more, it's often not what you see in the fight. Barber in the past couple of fights has been fucking throwing a lot of heat all the time and yeah, landing, hurting girls, things like that. There's a possibility for her to KO her if she can manage to land her hands consistently and stuff the takedowns. However, I'm not 100% sure on that. I do think that Blanchfield is tough enough. She's got the grappling to go to. Even if it doesn't work, she can engage in the clinch, things like that, and maybe hold her there. And if she does get it down, then Barber's going to get held down for most of the round. Her ups aren't great, Barber, but her ability to stuff a takedown against a clinch and also in space is pretty decent. She's got good awareness about it, she's got good distance management, so she's able to keep the person at distance from her. Yeah, as long as she doesn't hit air as she used to, that sort of shit, then we should be fine, you know? For me, Blanchfield has got okay takedowns, she's got some sneaky stuff, but she spends a lot of time getting there, and Barber's really good at elbows in the clinch, especially even with her back against the clinch. She's very good at that sort of thing. And yeah, Blanchfield just doesn't really show enough activity for me to be able to justify her winning. I think she's more hittable on the feet. I think she's slower. I think she doesn't hit as hard. I think she's nowhere near as dynamic. And yeah, I think she's gonna get hit a lot in this fight. I back Barber, pass the second, pass the third. But yeah, overall, I'd probably go Barber. Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight though. Bit of a proving test for Barber, who really fucking wants to win. If we look at social media wise as well, let's have a look here. Yeah, social media wise, Barber she's showing a lot of promise. She's showing that she's trying a lot, that she's enjoying her life, that she's very confident. She's even mentioning 3 weeks until 15-2, so she's kind of looking past this, knowing that thinking that she's going to win. And yeah, I have to agree. But Blanchfield on the other side is generally just posting ads, mostly. I think she's at the sort of she's found her ceiling. She knows that she can't really beat a girl like Fiorot. And Shevchenko's just a big ask for her, so I think she's just trying to make money other ways. This is like her third main event, so she's probably made a decent amount of money. But yeah, gonna be a good fight. Next up, we have Matus, your boy Gamrot, not your boy, Matus Gamer Gamrot versus Ludovic Klein. This is gonna be a fucking fireworks fight. Yeah, Gamrot with the unrelenting pressure, the takedowns that are all the time. I mean, realistically, like, what is that, 5.27 or 5.75 or 5.25? Takedown average is ridiculous. Ludovic Klein is a great striker who has very good defense, has a good amount of physicality in there. However, he can get overwhelmed, can get out pressured, can get gassed a little bit. And I think, yeah, Gamrot just doesn't really stop throwing. I mean, what was it called? 3.23 landed per minute. Yeah, that's a pretty decent amount of volume, and his striking's been looking a lot better. Gamrot, he gets knocked down. It does happen pretty much every single fight. So I mean, you know, it's a very 50-50. Klein could finish him, could get on top. He's got great jits. However, if you see our other posts, he's ranked an A-, I think it is, or a B+. Very good fighter, but the only thing that's lacking is a little bit of like, not even so much will to win, more heart. I'd say heart. He will, you know, if he's getting knocked about and things like that, he will fucking capitulate. If his game doesn't work, he will. He's got one game plan. Whereas Gamrot, he's had fights where he's had to switch it up, had to strike a little bit. If you watch the Sarukian fight, it's an excellent fight. His grappling doesn't work that much, but he keeps on going back to it because he's a fucking dog. He's a gamer, and yeah, ends up outstriking Sarukian and getting like occasional like takedown here and there just to steal a couple of the last 3 rounds. It's a very impressive fight. 5 rounds, fucking hard work, both the boys. Yeah, Sarukian is a great name to have on your record, and I'm taking Gamrot in this one. It's a close fight. Ludwig Klein's got some great striking, decent amount of power, so could knock him down, could hurt him, could finish him. Also, to note here is that Gamrot is surprisingly quite decently sized in this division. I think he's actually a lot bigger than Klein, with 3 inches on him. And Klein has not fought a southpaw in his old UFC run. I think he's fought a couple of switch hitters, but generally they are mostly orthodox fighters who do occasionally switch. Gamrot has fought, I don't know, something like 4 or 5 southpaws in a row now. Yeah, so he's a fucking dog. He's a fucking dog. And even Sarukian, like, he switched both stances because I think he, I can't remember exactly, I think he fucked up his legs, something like that, or no, he was trying to take away the body kick, and the head kick, and because Sarukian's got massive legs. Tried to get that shit and successfully won 3 rounds. It was very, very impressive to see him fight out orthodox, despite being a southpaw. Yeah, I think Gamrot generally great boxing. I think underrated boxing, actually, to be honest, is what I'd say. Clean striker, just not the most amount of power, but does land very nicely. Does land very clean. His defense is decent, although he can get clipped in that fucking always got real close spaces. Generally, it's quite tight shots that hit him. Not so much elbows and hooks and things like that, but just like when people crash into him, he's not got the fastest feet to move out. He's decent at keeping space, but if people crush that space, he doesn't do super well. I think Klein fights at space generally. He loves that too from space. Yeah, and again, I think the pressure is just going to be too much for Klein. I think the consistent takedowns, the consistent being poked in the face by the bigger man here, I think he's going to struggle. Fucking good fight though. Next we have Dustin Jacoby versus Bruno Lopez. Tough fight to call this one. You know, I mean, the amount of times that you've seen Jacoby get fucked about and then beat these guys, and especially unranked guys. I think he's undefeated. He's undefeated in fights against unranked guys. Whenever he's tried to move up, he's often lost into a ranked position. He's often lost. I think his only one is actually against. His only one is against your boy Dominic Reyes, who's a fucking big ass. He's a huge guy, snipers of the hands. You know what I mean? Like that guy is dangerous. And Jacoby's more of a go, break it down with jabs. This matchup is kind of interesting because I think Bruno Lopez comes with a lot of physicality. He will clinch you up. He will fucking try and get a takedown, things like that. Jacoby's not an easy guy to take down. I think his takedown defense is overall is 62, but it's gotten better and better and better as he's been in the UFC. How he looks on the ground is difficult to know. I think he's got good ups. He's very game, but whether or not that chin can hold up is hard to say because Bruno Lopez is a big guy. Yeah, and I think he fights kind of smart. He doesn't eat too many. He will eat some, but doesn't eat too many. Isn't some guy who just stand in the pocket waiting for his shot. He'll wait on the outside, decide to blast in, grab you, smash you, things like that. So yeah, close fucking fight. I mean, if you look at the landing per minute here, you know, you've got 5.33 for Jacoby. He's got a beautiful jab, long as well. He's much longer than longer than this guy, bigger than this guy. Tough fight to call. You know, the age factor is also part of that fucking equation, but yeah, I mean, tough fight to call. I think I'm going to go Lopez. It's a scary one. It's a dog, but I'm going to go Lopez. I think he should be able to physical fuck about Jacoby enough. And I think Jacoby's a bit too much an old man. At a certain point, it lets you down, and his chin's never been the best. He's been through a million wars in whatever the fuck what was it called? He's been in a million wars. He's been in a million wars as a kickboxer and as an MMA fighter. Bruno Lopez hits hard. Yeah, for me, I think the odds should be flipped in this one because I don't think that Lopez should be the dog. I see that Jacoby's had a great fight, but he just had a really, really, really tough fight with. He got a great knockout, but he was getting fucked about in the fight against what's his goddamn name? Dustin Jacoby. So yeah, my memory is absolutely terrible, but the research is done very well. That's what the main aim of this podcast is to do a real heavy amount of research, so I don't really have to rely on my memory, just rely on what I've seen. So yeah, he just fought against Victor Petrino. Petrino was absolutely just, closing the distance, hitting with some shots, and Petrino is shit. Really, really, really dumb fighter. Much more hittable than Bruno Lopez. Yeah, I mean, I do think that is probably past Jacoby's time. He could definitely prove me wrong. I'm just not gonna. Fuck. I'm not gonna bet against that man. Right. Stop recording that shit. Fuck. The audio may sound like absolute trash before this, but what can I fucking do? Might have to re-record that shit. Anyway. Zachary Reese versus Duskov Todorovic. Interesting fight, this one. Zachary Reese coming off a bunch of L's, getting knocked out by Bekoever's his name. I mean, that boy's hits hard, but the way he died was just a bit fucking lame. He literally just got hit by like 5 or 6 ground and pound shots. I think he's kind of trash. He's trying to hit arm bars which aren't there. He's pulling guard. His striking has gotten better, but he's just so hittable still, so hittable. And Todorovic, although maybe he's not had he wasn't as touted as when he came in, because he came in at 10-0. He's had a bunch of losses and a bunch of wins. But he hits hard, he's good on the outside, he knows when to dart in, knows when to dart out. It's more of a confidence thing here. If Todorovic comes in a little bit scared and gets backed up by Reese, he could get fucked up. Reese is a much bigger guy, but that's never really fucked with Todorovic. He's fought a lot of big guys in there. Reese will try and shoot on Todorovic, but again, he's a very athletic guy. I don't think the shot's going to be there. I think he's going to get hit coming in. Yeah, I think Todorovic KO is going to be outrageous money this weekend. So if you're thinking about that, I would go for that shit. Good stuff. This is a cheeky fight. So we have El Pastor versus Nascimento por Oso. Both guys that have had wins and losses, both guys that are very legit. I think El Pastor has only lost against, if I'm not mistaken, he's only lost in the UFC against Mahayev, who's a freak, and even then he gave him a great fight. Just got caught in a rear naked right at the end of the fight. He's a very good fighter, decently amount of power, throws with so much heat, has a good amount of gas tank in him, can wrestle really good offensively. Defensively, he's a little bit more sketchy. This is where this fight takes place for me. This is where it's decided for me. It's the scrambles. Because I think on the feet, Nascimento's very good. He kicks very well. He's okay at keeping distance, can get cornered and shut that. But his decision making has gotten a lot better recently in his past few fights. He had a real sketchy start, but has looked better and better and better. Fights very similarly to Bronx, even maybe cleaner and safer than the Bronx previous. The Bronx last fight was very, very safe. But yeah, Nascimento, I think generally the thing is that I think Filo ends up on bottom, whereas Nascimento ends up on top in a lot of these situations. Nascimento's attacking grappling is very, very nasty. He's got a lot of strength, and his technique's impeccable. So yeah, he's a guy. It's either Filo knocks him out or Nascimento subs or decision him. That's generally how I see it, unless Nascimento like can survive some getting knocked about and getting hit, tagged, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, generally that's how I see it. I'd be surprised if Filler got knocked out. You know, I wouldn't be that surprised, but I don't see Nascimento being able to do that to Filo. I think Filo's really aggressive and got some absolute, not even the most ridiculous stonk, but he just throws like scary stuff all the time. He's throwing overhands, left hooks, that sort of shit. It's just, it's dangerous all the way around. I'm very excited for this fight. I think this is going to be a fucking fireworks fight. Both these guys don't really know how to fight patient. And Filo is just so angry every single time he fights. So angry, which we love to see. Yeah, I mean, things I've highlighted here. Land permit, you know, Nascimento lands a little bit more. He's got a better accuracy. But that doesn't always matter, that's the thing. Takedown accuracy, yeah, Nascimento, that's the thing. Nascimento's got horrible takedown stats, but in the scrambles, he'll often try a takedown, get taken down, and then end up on top because he ends up scrambling, attacking with the subs and ending up on top. And I think Filo is just slightly one step behind in the grappling. I do think so. Or just grappling stylistic. I think he likes to play a little bit more patient on top, which I think is going to end up in situations where Nascimento is going to turn him over or maybe sub him. And I think he's yeah. Anyway. Caitlin Vieira versus... Right, we've got Caitlin Vieira, El Fenomeno, which I'm going to guess means Phenom, versus Macy Chiasson, who... This is an interesting matchup here because it really is someone who's on the up versus someone who's had their up and they're sort of coasting, thinking about where they're at. I don't know what the motivation is with Caitlin Vieira. From what I can tell on the social medias and things like that, she's sort of coasting. She's not posting loads of videos. And she's not promoting herself that much. I think she knows where she's at. She knows her ceiling, and Chiasson is definitely a winnable fight. You know, it's one of those ones where Chiasson has the length, she has the reach. However, she's quite hittable in the boxing. She has recently had much more success in the grappling over the striking. She's been taking people down and using her length. Her jiu-jitsu and her grappling has gotten way better. But Caitlin Vieira's takedown defense is outrageous. She hits harder. She's cleaner. She's probably got better defense. So yeah, again, it's a motivation factor here. You know, Chiasson really wants to carry on winning, but I don't know if she's got the skill set to beat Vieira. Vieira's she's a tough ask for anyone. Usually people beat her by hitting on the outside, occasional takedowns here and there, mixing things up, giving her a little bit too much to think about, and outpointing her, outscoring her. They don't really knock her out. They don't really submit her. Chiasson, however, has been knocked out. I think she probably has been submitted as well. Yeah, she has been submitted. Yeah, I mean, it's one of them ones is that my brain is telling me to go Chiasson. No, sorry, my brain is telling me to go Vieira. However, there is definitely a chance. A lot of these fights on this card are very close. I think this is the one that I think it's not going to look close. I think when the fight actually goes down, because either Chiasson's going to get on top, she's going to be able to hold her there. She's maybe going to be able to out-volume Vieira from the outside, or Chiasson's going to look scared. Every jab she throws, she's going to get hit by an overhand, a leg kick, something nasty, something heavy, and she's going to have her life flashing, the knockouts flashing before her eyes and all the damage she's taken in fights, because it's just going to end up being really bad for her. I do think Chiasson's going to have to be shooting from the back foot, unless she comes out really aggressive. That's the thing. If she comes out really aggressive and Vieira is really not motivated, she could easily win this fight. However, I think the motivation factor, it's tough. It's tough against betting Brazilians to not be motivated because they generally are just super game no matter what. Yeah, really hard fight to call this one. I'm going to go Vieira. Trevin Giles versus Gustafsson. Man, I'm more happy about this matchup than I have been for the previous one, because Gustafsson, bless him, he had a matchup against, who was it? Was it Andre Muniz? No. No, quick look here. Gustafsson. Oh. Bane Gustafsson, here we go. Andreas. He's a nasty piece of work. But yeah, he was originally scheduled to have, Preston Parsons. That was going to be his KO, his beautiful fucking smashing KO. Am I right in this one? Preston Parsons got KO'd by somebody else? Yep, Jacoby. Yeah, exactly. So he was going to fight Preston Parsons, and then, which was just a guaranteed win for him, a guy that does get held up against the cage and will accept clinch positions. Gustafsson's a smasher, doesn't have that much heavy hands either. Gustafsson is a smasher in the clinch. I don't know if anyone who hasn't watched Gustafsson, I recommend you go watch some of Gustafsson because he's a menace. He's an absolute menace. He's a physical freak. If you look at him, I don't know how he's in the same weight class as someone like Chevin Giles because he's jacked and bigger. His weight cut must be crazy, but yeah, he's done well to make it and things like that. And he's got he's got good amount of power on the feet. Actually, surprisingly, sort of decent-ish striking defense. When he's gotten into striking affairs, generally, I mean, if you look at the Contender Series fights, he hasn't engaged in it at all. He just went straight to the fucking clinch and just fucked this boy up with the clinch and destroyed him, broke him down with knees, elbows, that sort of shit. He's one of the nastiest guys I've seen in the clinch in a long time, and I love to see it. Because so many guys use the clinch to hold or maybe just take down. This boy is looking to do damage to actually KO you in the clinch. It's great shit. He just loves war. Yeah. There's a fight. Which one's the fucking fight that he's got, which is just crazy shit? Let's have a look. I think it's Miro Jovorovic. Yeah, I mean, have a fucking look at that. He's a fucked up guy. He does some fucked up shit. I'm sure he's a guy who can be outpointed, out-grappled, things like that. But I don't know if Chevin Giles is that guy. Chevin Giles is a smooth man on the feet. Lands a decent clip, but he's coming on like 6 days notice. So I don't think you have time to prepare for the physicality of Gustafsson. The boy that he was going to fight before was scaring me more. Who was it again? It was, Jeremiah Wells. Jeremiah Wells was a scary guy. A guy who accepts a clinch, but he throws with his whole body and he throws hard. And I wasn't trusting Gustafsson to be able to cross that space without getting clocked. But in this one, I really do back him. I think it's pretty decent money. I don't know whether or not he's going to KO him. I would not be surprised. For me, outright. Chevin Giles is a gamer though, so maybe go over 1.5 because realistically, Bane does break you down slowly. So this is a fucking fight to watch. I mean, just to see Gustafsson really like. He only knows war, and that's all he does. So yeah, he's a menace. He's an absolute menace. But like we see here, Giles has some very good technical defense. So sketchy fight. But 6 days notice. So interesting one. The creep, Jordan Levitt, the Monkey King, versus Kurt Hollenbaugh, the Hurt. Again, this card is full of fucking pick'ems. Really, it's full of just like we'll see what happens fights. Because this one here, Jordan Levitt, primarily a grappler, doesn't have the best defensive takedowns, but his scrambles are really good. Generally, if you shoot on him, he will be able to adjust that and get on top. When he's on top, he's very good, very smart, respects submissions quite a lot. Whether or not Hollenbaugh has the submission ability to be able to turn him over with that, I don't know, but Jordan Levitt is generally very defensively sound on the feet and on the ground. He doesn't throw his hands at all. Jordan Levitt basically, literally just will generally from that southpaw stance, if I'm not mistaken, generally just fucking side kick, leg kick your leg as much as possible, keep it away from you as much as possible, if the grappling comes to him, sweet. If it doesn't, fine. He doesn't really push it if he can't get the takedown. He won't try and get himself into situations. The issue I have in this is that Hollenbaugh has horrible takedown defense. Like pretty horrible takedown defense. But he throws hands and he goes forward and he will try and engage in the fucking boxing, which is why I struggle with this fight. I do think that Levitt will end up doing it because I think Levitt's a very smart fighter. And from what we're seeing here on the social medias as well, Jordan Levitt is super game, super fucking wants to win, really wants it. Hollenbaugh is in his latest stage of his career, despite I think age-wise, not too far off each other. No, wait. Hold on, am I wrong here? How old is Hollenbaugh? Hollabaugh is... Hollabaugh's 38. So yeah, he's in the later stages of his career. He's at the point where he is doing a lot of coaching, things like that. I don't know how motivated he is. I think the motivation is going to be a huge factor here. I think I'd take Jordan Levitt to get it probably done by decision. Hollabaugh only been subbed once, and Levitt ain't really that guy. He's not going to KO power. He's not going to do ground and pound until get to that point. He might pin him down into a position where Hollabaugh can't get up, but I'd be surprised because Hollabaugh has a Gracie tattoo on his fucking back. So I would be very surprised. Balaji Oki versus Markel Medeiros. Oki killed me last time, getting subbed by Chris Duncan, but you can't blame a man for getting subbed by Chris Duncan. He's the most underdoggy guy ever. He's a menace. Yeah, so Balaji Oki, again, looks fucking dangerous on the feet. He's got great straight shots. Decent amount of power, great size for the division. Presses forward, good takedown defense. Again, very interesting fight this one because we've got two good strikers. Medeiros is a great striker. He's got slipping and ripping. He does a lot of that shit. And social media wise, they're both training as hard. But Balaji is saying some scary stuff like, I'm going to either die in there or kill someone. That's sort of stuff he's saying. So he really, really wants it. But I also don't know. Mentally, he's not that... he's a very good striker, but I don't know how actually smart he is in general. So I don't know how that's going to play into this. I think Medeiros is probably a little bit of a smarter fighter. Just the way he fights on the outside. We'll find his spots. We'll slip one. We'll throw a combo at you. Optics wise, it should be Balaji Oki winning this fight generally. I think Medeiros does get tagged by straight shots, and Oki's very, very pressure heavy. When he's actually going forward, when he's actually deciding to go forward, because in his contender series fight, he had it was a bit of a lackluster performance. Allowed that to go to decision when it shouldn't have. Didn't really push the pace that much. And then Duncan, he pushed the pace loads, got himself subbed, and was smashing up Duncan. So, yeah, it's a hard one. I do take Oki. I think if you take Medeiros, I wouldn't blame you. He's a good dog. He's a very good guy. Yeah, tough fight to bet on, tough fight to pick. I'm going to go Oki. I think probably Oki past the second. It's probably what I'd go, because he's definitely got enough power. But I think probably Oki by decision. I think Medeiros, I rate Medeiros as enough to be able to maybe not mix it up with the takedowns and things like that, but definitely fuck about on the feet with him. Sketchy though, sketchy. Right, Randa Santos. I think this is our last one as well. Randa Santos versus Ardilian. I mean, look at these fucking records. Jesus, what is that? Is that 14-3 and 9-7? Yeah, we got Ardilian is not great. She's not as bad as I thought she was, but she's not great. Her defense is not as bad as I thought it was, but she's not great. Her offense is not really there. Miranda Sanders is actually very good. She's got a decent amount of power. Throws good combos, things like that. The only X factor that I see in this is I think the size difference is probably going to be... I mean, despite them not actually being that much different size-wise, Miranda Santos was a 105 champ in a different division. So she's moving up, not moving up for this fight, but she has moved up. It's been a few fights now, so she's probably transitioned well enough. But physicality-wise, Ardilian, yeah, I mean, there's no way you should be picking Ardilian at all. It's just whether or not you go Miranda Santos by KO or decision. Ardilian is a fucking... Ardilian is a... What was it called? She's a very tough girl. So we shall see. Yeah, Miranda Santos, 100%. Don't, put all your money on that. Yeah. Yeah, my name's Darius. I have been doing this, watching MMA for fucking shit ton of time. Love it. Still love it, despite, having been involved for... I'm guessing 6-7 years now, watching it, become more consistent about doing the research and things like that for the past couple of years. And yeah, this is where I'm at. I'm here doing these podcasts weekly. Probably more than that. I think I want to try and start doing a podcast where we just, get people to message in, comments and shit like that, videos to watch and all that sort of crap. And I'll just fucking laugh at that nonsense. Yeah, occasionally we'll be having guests. Some other people talk about MMA with me. Yeah, those are the fights. This is me, and this is the MMA Elevator.